Ecclesiastes 3 tells us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. That scripture has really resonated with all of us here at Miracle Farm the past 2 months. We lost one of our most beloved house parents, Joe Baker, husband to Cheri Baker, father to Bronson Baker, and house dad to over 200 Miracle Farm boys in the last 24 years. His passing really knocked most of us off our feet. It was a tough time. But we also remember what else Ecclesiastes teaches us. While there's a time to weep, a time to mourn, there's a time to laugh and a time to smile and a time for memories. Our young men want to share some of their memories about Mr. Joe with you today.
My favorite memory of Mr. Joe is in the mornings, especially on weekends. He would make pancakes for us, and I remember just he would always smile when he was always very joyful in the morning. When we got up, he was never grumpy at us. He was very loving, and when we ate pancakes, he would look at us and go, "So how are they?" And we'd tell him how we liked them, and he goes, "Good, I haven't failed yet."
One of my favorite memories about Mr. Joe was he had this pet peeve about they had a rock bed by their flower bed, and if you walk across it, he'll go after you for it. And that was one of the things that we always remember when we went to Greg houses, never to walk across his rocks.
One of my most favorite memories with Mr. Joe is every time he took us fishing, because I enjoyed doing it.
My favorite memory of Mr. Joe was when we went to the Rose Emporium, and I enjoyed it because we both like plants, and it was just a fun day.
One of my favorite memories about talking to Mr. Joe was we used to sit on the couch after barn and talk about cattle.
One of my favorite memories with Mr. Joe is he always took us fishing, and he always caught more than us.
One of my favorite memories about Mr. Joe was every time at dinner we joke around a lot.
So there was this one time that I was out mowing on the front lawn, and Mr. Joe came up to me after I was done, and he asked me, he said, "Man, you sure do like mowing, don't you, Braden?" And I looked at him and I said, "No, sir, I don't. I don't like it at all, actually." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll have to get you one of these." And he shows me a picture on his phone, and I will never forget this. It was a bicycle that the front wheel had been taken off and replaced with one of the old mowers that you push along. And he kind of looked at me and he was like, "That might be your birthday present or your going away present." I was like, I can do that. That was funny. That was probably one of the best experiences I've had with Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe leaves behind a legacy of love and kindness. During his time on earth, he helped thousands, whether it was with his work here at Miracle Farm, with the Salvation Army, singing in the church choir, or on the board at Here I Am Orphan Ministries. Many may not know that he was a respiratory therapist in the NICU for Baylor hospitals. Clearly, his life work was all about helping children and families. It is a legacy that will stay in our hearts and stay in our minds forever. One of my favorite memories about Mr. Joe was watching him work with his young son Bronson and their longhorns. They really enjoyed it. On behalf of Cheri and Bronson, we want to thank all of you for your outpouring of love and prayers during this time.